I would get so much hate tweets when it was called in, so much hate tweets and just guff from right-wing conspiracy theorists being called everything from, fag to... Sure.
Well, hi there. So Don Lemon, formerly of CNN, did what he thought was a deal with Elon Musk to take his new internet show to X, formerly Twitter. His list of demands was crazy. It included a $5 million upfront payment, an $8 million a year salary, a Cybertruck, and a castle. His boyfriend thought the castle might be asking too much, so he took that out of the deal. But seriously, the craziest thing he wanted was veto power over the news creator roster at Twitter. Imagine that, giving this guy veto power over who can do news on Twitter. Anyway, Donnie sat down with Elon for an exclusive interview last week where they discussed topics such as what it means to be woke, diversity, equity and inclusion, and Elon's absolute favourite, censorship. We're going to have a look at some of the choice bits of the interview right now.
Do you believe that people are dying because medical standards, DEI is causing medical standards to be lowered? Do you actually believe people are dying because of that?
I believe that if we lower the standards for what it takes to become a doctor...
You're saying if we lower the standards,
yes.
But do you believe people are dying because the standards are being lowered?
Well, he said if we lower the standards. So that would imply that if we do this thing that we are currently not doing, then something bad could happen as a result of that. So this is the DEI part, diversity, equity and inclusion. And Don just shows us all how dull he actually is. It's kind of like he can't grasp hypotheticals. He can't imagine and assess a what-if scenario. But then again, I get the impression he's sort of doing it on purpose for like a gotcha or something. Watch this.
I don't think that is yet an issue, but it could become an issue.
Okay. But the actual evidence in history shows the exact opposite if you look at how minorities were treated by the medical system.
Yeah, that's because we haven't lowered standards in the past, Don. He's saying if we do X, then Y will happen. And you're saying, yeah, but we haven't done X. Yeah, no shit.
Most doctors now are white. And there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that white doctors have bad medical care?
White doctors have bad medical care? For fuck's sake, Don, no he's not saying that. You know he's not saying that. But white doctors have made mistakes in the past. Yeah, so if we were to lower the standards, even worse things would happen, Don. And that's not to imply that getting black doctors will lower the standards. That's to imply that getting worse doctors will lower the standards. Hiring on the basis of diversity, equity and inclusion means you're not hiring solely on the basis of merit. This isn't hard to understand.
I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI because there's no actual evidence of what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right, Don. He's saying that if we lower standards, standards will be lower. The operative word being if. Of course there's no evidence for it in the past. This was an if statement.
No, I said, so if the standards, like let's say, I think that particular thing was referring to surgeons. Let's say a surgeon is asked to, a surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
I didn't say it's happening.
You see what I mean? He just can't grasp it. Or he's pretending that he can't grasp it and making himself look like a fucking idiot in the process.
You didn't say it was happening.
I said it will. I said if we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to something or put something out there that has not happened?
If, Don, if. This is unbelievable.
I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards for what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon or, an oncologist or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards.
Pretty simple, Don. A 7-year-old could understand that.
You think they're lowering the standards for minority doctors or women doctors, or?
That's what that's what that article suggested. Yes, at Duke University.
Okay. The evidence that I have shows that that's not true.
What? That they're not talking about it? DEI has been a hot button issue for a couple of years now. And I don't know what article they're talking about, but the statement he's making is very simple. If we lower standards, then standards will be lower.
Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
What a question. Do you think that women and minority pilots are less skilled and less intelligent than white male pilots? You see what I mean? This is a gotcha interview. He's trying to own Elon Musk with a soundbite. Even though he says he's not into that, that's exactly what he's trying to do. And as if Elon's going to say, yeah, that's what I reckon, Don. Because he doesn't believe that, and even if he did, that'd be a fucking stupid thing to say, wouldn't it, Don?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
Okay.
But I want a gotcha. Give me my soundbite, Elon.
Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean?
Yeah, it originally meant the past tense of wake, Don, as in I woke up feeling good this morning.
But what originally it was meant to mean? It's just being aware of.
And that's where I think Don Lemon lost the contract. I mean, not that it was ever going to really happen anyway with those stupid demands, but you see Elon's face there. What the fuck is this idiot talking about? Are we really signing this bozo up? Priceless.
What originally it was meant to mean. It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course. But trying to blame everything trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Yep, well said. Anyway, let's move on to the censorship part. And then Donny Boy's reaction to Elon pulling out of the negotiation.
All this controversy, I believe, as you know, has made X less appealing to advertisers. About half of them have left the platform. You call advertisers that left X.com. You said they were oppressors. You've even gone as far as saying it publicly that they can go F themselves or go fuck themselves.
If they're going to force censorship on the company before advertising, then obviously I find that unacceptable.
You find it unacceptable. Why is that not a form of free speech? They are free to advertise where they want. They're not beholden to, they're not obligated to advertise on X.com.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. They're not obligated. But they can still go fuck themselves. I mean, how is Elon saying go fuck yourself in any way meddling with their free speech?
So, how is that not free speech?
What? This guy, man, fucking hell. I think he's just used to the CNN environment where he's got some producer talking into his ear, sort of coaching him on how to sound smart. He just comes across as a moron in this interview.
That's whereas the other platforms will censor on behalf of advertisers, the X platform will not.
Okay. So, but you don't think it's okay for them not to advertise with or have their content or their advertisement next to something that is anti-Semitic or...
That is a different question.
No, he just thinks they can go fuck themselves. He was very clear about that.
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
You can absolutely choose where, next to which content do you want your advertising to appear. Absolutely, of course. And we have, I think, very good ad placement controls in this regard.
Yeah. So you said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're...
John, I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Yeah, see, the nail's in the coffin now. You've got 5 minutes, you fucking moron. These questions are nonsensical.
You said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you?
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
Yeah, Don, he's not going to pander to your censorship, mate. I mean, there's other parts I could have shown from this interview. It was all pretty brain dead. Like, Don at one point goes, yeah, but you take down child porn, is that not censorship? And Elon's like, yeah, that breaks the law, Don. I stand for free speech within the law. Anyway, let's have a look at Don's reaction to all this going south.
Elon Musk tells Don Lemon, quote, contract is canceled. End quote.
I love the brutality of it. Contract is cancelled. What happened, Don? You must be scathing about all those millions of dollars, your Cybertruck, and your ability to veto news on X, or in other words, to censor the platform.
In a statement earlier today, Lemon writes in part, quote, there were no restrictions on the interview that he willingly agreed to. We had a good conversation. Clearly, he felt differently. His commitment to a global town square where all questions can be asked and all ideas can be shared seems not to include questions of him from people like me.
No, I think he just realised what a midwit, Don, is. Like, why would you pay so much to get someone like him exclusively on X?
This decision, coming as Musk had, of course, publicly courted Lemon and has repeatedly made a commitment to free speech. And he bought Twitter again and again and again.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, he's sticking to that commitment, not wanting to pay Don Lemon millions of dollars and giving him the right to veto news on the site doesn't really show a lack of commitment to free speech.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened, Don?
I said to him, I think it's good that people see folks like you and I who have different worldviews come together and talk, as he says, have free speech. Free speech is only important when someone you don't like, or I would say someone who doesn't have your same point of view, if they're allowed to speak freely and to say their point of view. Apparently that doesn't matter to Elon Musk. It's just for maybe talking points.
You just got an exclusive 90-minute sit-down with the man, and you're still on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck. You're even making money on the platform. He just didn't want to sign you up to an exclusive deal worth millions of dollars and give you veto power over news on the site, because you're a bozo. Anyway, in the following days, Donny Boy just goes down this rabbit hole of, why did Elon reject me? Even going so far as to imply that it's because he's black and gay. I mean, come on, you're a clown, Don. This whole saga was hilarious, and you just showed yourself to be a bad faith, victim complex having wanker. Anyway, I'll leave it there. If anything else comes out of this, I'll cover it. But thanks very much for watching. Catch you later. Ta-ta.
Recession, session, advertise